We're back with another jam-packed episode of the Broadway show. Glad you're here because it is a good one. I'm Tamsen Fadal. Let's get started. Six-time Tony Award winner Audra McDonald is back on Broadway in the long-awaited production of Ohio State Murders. It's the first production at the newly renamed James Earl Jones Theater. We had a chance to chat. Ohio State Murders. Let's dive right in and talk about it. If somebody doesn't know what Ohio State Murders is, how would you describe it?
It is a suspenseful murder mystery memory play. It's a woman who is going back to her alma mater to give a speech because she's a writer. They've asked her to come back and talk about, her work and why she uses some of the imagery she does in her work. And what ends up happening is she ends up telling this tale about what happened to her when she was at Ohio State when she was 18, and it's a murder mystery. She gives you clues throughout the entire play that by the time when you get to the end of the play, you go, oh, I should have, of course, when she was speaking of that, oh, that's why she mentioned that, or that's why she was talking about the fact that she was not allowed to do this because of her color, led to this, led to this, led to this, which led to what ended up happening. And it's based somewhat on Adrienne Kennedy's experience at Ohio State, being one of 12 girls in her dorm, one of 12 black girls in her dorm in Ohio State in the late 40s.
For this to be her debut on Broadway,
91.
for this to have started 91 years old.
Yeah.
What is that like?
I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to be a part of it. I'm honored to be a part of it. I'm sad that she's 91 and this is finally happening. She's been writing incredible, singular, poetic, deep, profound plays since the 60s. And it's just now that someone's been willing to actually commercially produce it on Broadway. And I think it's about damn time, but I wish it could have happened earlier for her. But perhaps now we're in an environment where more people will really be able to understand the play and receive it and give it the flowers that it truly deserves.
For you to be the voice of her all these years later.
Yes.
So she started writing this, 3 decades ago, right?
Yes, she wrote this. This had its debut at the Great Lakes Theater in Cleveland, Ohio in 1992, but hasn't ever been to Broadway. So, yeah, now it's happening, and now we have a responsibility to make sure as many people as possible can see it and understand it. And my hope is when people leave the show, they'll take in the experience of the show and look out in society and understand what she was trying to say and the story she was trying to convey, make people think about systemic racism, and also then go and learn more about Adrienne Kennedy and her works and the works she's been doing for decades and decades and decades.
Play it now, play it now, play it now, my baby.
You're on Broadway, your husband's on Broadway. What's it like living with a rock star?
I live with Neil Diamond now, didn't you know? We've been together for so long. Actually, we just celebrated 10 years of being married.
Congrats.
And thank you.
Yeah.
It's wonderful in that we both understand what the other is going through, in terms, since we both do the same thing for a living. It's hardest right now, honestly, on our 6-year-old. We've done shows on Broadway at the same time together.
Okay.
Will and I have years ago in 2014, but we didn't have Sally then. Our kids were older.
Right.
But now we have our little one, and she keeps saying, I just wish people didn't have to work for a living. She's saying things like that because she's like, who's putting me to bed tonight? So that's kind of tugging on our heartstrings quite a bit. It's going to be harder on Will because it's a much longer show. He's got a lot more sequins.
A little bit.
And platform boots and whatnot. So he's got a lot more to do and a lot more singing.
He does have the shoe game on you.
Oh, very much so. Lots more singing, And it's not like it's either of our shows or shows we can take Sally to see. It's like,
Right. No.
Come see Mom in Ohio State Murders. No.
A few more years.
Yeah, but I'm so proud of him. I'm very excited for Will. It's been incredible.
You put a post out there that I think is really important to address because it speaks to women that need to hear about it. And you talked about menopause, and that's something important to me. And we couldn't stop talking before this started.
No,
why did you decide to do that?
Because I was, when you're going through perimenopause and menopause, you have days where you feel alone, you feel shamed kind of by society, by what your body's going through, the weight gain, the hot flashes, the insomnia, the memory loss, the heart palpitations. There's so many different things that encapsulate what going through menopause is, and just the societal stigma on, well, you're old now, and you're no longer seen or no longer wanted or any of that. And I was really just going down a rabbit hole thinking about it. And I thought, you know what, I know I'm not the only one feeling this way. And I try and be very open and honest on my social media. And I don't ever try and be some goddess that I'm not, because I'm not. And so I thought I might as well.
Well, you are, but
no, but I'm not. Ask anybody in my family. So I thought, I'm just going to be open about this and honest about this. And so I thought I'm just going to put it out there. And I'd taken that selfie, and I just remember thinking, the time I took it, I was like, I feel so just awful, like my skin, what's happening. And I took the selfie, and I was like, wow, I got to talk about this.
Yeah.
And so I just put it out there.
So grateful, and so much reaction to it, and that's where you know you've hit a nerve.
So many people reached out, and I'm glad, and I'm hoping, and you and I talked about this, hoping that in talking about this and destigmatizing this, younger women coming up will have more of an understanding of what's ahead, how to embrace it, how to feel okay about it, and how to get help, and how to not feel shamed, stigmatized, and othered as a result.
Thank you for that. We need those voices.
Yeah.
We need those voices.